Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
People in multiple eastern KELOLAND communities are cleaning up after yesterday's powerful thunderstorms.
KELOLAND's Ariana Schumacher joins us near Augustana with a look at how the area is recovering. Good morning, Ariana.
I'm out here at the Augustana campus where you can see several trees are down as well as power lines. The house behind me has a very large tree right across its front yard. I'm going to step behind the camera, give you a closer look at some of these down trees and power lines. There are several down trees across the entire drive while I was driving here this morning. You can see there's a large tree just covering that front yard. And as you turn over here, you can see that there are power lines down on the campus. Remember to keep your distance when you do see down power lines and give yourself some extra time with that commute today. Lots of road closures, things like that. Reporting live in Sioux Falls, Ariana Schumacher, KELOLAND News.
Thank you, Ariana. Utility crews are putting in long hours repairing damage from the storm that knocked out power to thousands of people in the eastern part of the state. Northwestern Energy had crews out last night working to restore power in Huron. The company says at one point they had around 9,500 customers without power. In
the video, you can see people going up in buckets to work on the power poles. Spokesman Tom Glanzer says even if a power line isn't sparking and looks safe, it can still have power to it. Even trained workers test every line before they work on them. At least one tornado was reported in Castlewood, leaving behind a path of destruction. Along with damaged homes, the school has extensive damage on the roof and siding.
Volunteer firefighters and police escorted people back to their homes if they weren't damaged, just to make sure everyone was safe and accounted for. Various injuries were reported. Governor Kristi Noem was in Castlewood and spoke to those in her hometown.
We would like to get all of you who have damage at your homes to Watertown to stay in a hotel. That is something that we need you to do, frankly, so that we can truly assess the damage that is out there.
Governor Noem also activated about 50 members of the National Guard. Yesterday's severe weather will have a slight impact on Sioux Falls schools today. In a message to families, the Sioux Falls School District says power has been restored to all schools. Classes will be in session and on time and the normal schedule. However, as cleanup continues, bus routes may be impacted. Because of this, schools will not be counting tardies this morning, and as a reminder, the last day of school is May 25th. Well, now let's send it over to meteorologist Scott Munt in the Storm Center for a check of this morning's weather. Good morning, Scott.
All right, good morning there, Sarah. Good morning, everybody. We are looking at much quieter weather as we go through the day today and into this coming weekend. I would say more comfortable. Numbers into the 70s for afternoon highs, and we'll go with our winds, which will be healthy today. We get these wind gusts over 40 miles per hour in the central and northern KELOLAND. Brian will have more details on your forecast coming up.
Thank you, Scott. Another shakeup in South Dakota's Department of Corrections. Women's prison warden Darren Berg was walked out of the prison. Berg was named warden in April 2020 after an 18-year career with the DOC.
The department says legally it cannot comment on personnel information. However, a spokesperson confirmed that Associate Warden Aaron Miller is overseeing daily operations at the women's prison, with DOC Secretary Kelly Wasco helping with personnel and operation issues.
A SISSETON, South Dakota man is facing a list of charges after a pursuit in west central Brookings County. Brookings County Sheriff's Office says the incident happened in the western part of VOLGA just after 3:30 Thursday morning. Authorities say a deputy tried to stop an SUV, but it fled. The deputy chased the SUV 6 miles out of VOLGA when the driver went into a muddy field.
The SUV was later found with no one inside. 32-year-old Zachariah Ryan was found laying in a ditch full of water. He was arrested for a long list of charges, including ingestion of controlled substance, DUI, and open container.
Officials in Sheldon, Iowa say a power surge is the likely cause of a fire in the southern part of town. Sheldon Fire Co says it happened just before 3 o'clock Thursday afternoon. Crews arriving on scene learned that everyone inside the home had gotten out. Resident told firefighters she had heard a loud bang outside and then saw smoke coming from behind the washer and dryer.
Another resident sleeping in the basement bedroom was woken up by fire on the bed. Crews entered the bedroom and put the fire out. Officials say there were down power lines and a blown transformer in the area. The Sheldon Assistant Fire Chief says to go around down power lines if you see them. Let's look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, lots of pictures, lots of damage. Of course, many of us witnessed this wall of wind and the dust yesterday. A lot of U-share pictures are coming in this morning. So, yes, if you sent those in, we thank you for that. We want you to stay safe, obviously, as damage, cleanup is going to continue today. A couple of top headlines on wind numbers yesterday. Trip area, 107 miles per hour. Dante area has a lot of damage. The list is so long and lengthy today. Dalton, 80-mile-an-hour winds. Sioux Falls Airport had 78, although I could tell you, based on what we're seeing out of the McKinnon Park area and the Augie campus, those winds were more than that, clearly. And there was likely a downburst or a microburst event that occurred there in central Sioux Falls. Salem area, you know, we have one number there of 88 miles per hour. I'll tell you again, that area probably had way more than that on the top wind speeds. Lake Madison, that's a very accurate number, 97 miles per hour. Another number over 100 up there in Dole County, at Lake Cochran. You look at these number of reports and the severity of the wind yesterday. We have not had anything like that for a long time, many, many years. So we hope not to repeat this anytime soon, as the cleanup is going to be lengthy and long-lived. Obviously, a lot more details here online at KELOLAND.com. I do want to share with you quickly now just some of the elements of the forecast. Really, there aren't any headlines today or tomorrow. It's just kind of windy at times out in the west. We'll put these winds 20 to 40, which, you know, considering everything we've had this spring, that's just another breezy day. 70s for highs. I do expect tonight a few sprinkles, maybe even late this afternoon in the Black Hills. We'll kind of effectively call that a nuisance or just a very light event there. I think tomorrow morning, a lot of 50s, and then tomorrow afternoon highs, a lot of mid-70s in the southeast. We'll cool off to some upper 60s in the north, but fairly seasonable, maybe a little bit below average. And looks like our next shot at rain coming into the forecast early next week, kind of gearing up maybe toward Tuesday. Your 7-day forecast as we close things out. You can see the numbers there into the 70s, pretty much all into early next week. Nothing too chilly, and lows here upper 40s to near 50. The rain chances also coming back by Tuesday in Aberdeen, highs upper 60s to near 70 degrees. Here in central South Dakota, you folks are also pretty much straight there through the 70s. Nothing big as far as major fluctuations on temperatures. And Rapid City and western South Dakota also looking highs warming into the 70s by early next week. Well, check out all the weather coverage. There is a lot to be had here today. Online at KELOLAND.com. Stay safe, and we encourage you to at least continue to watch our coverage throughout the weekend. Stay with us.